So far, the crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans. Well, it's going out. Don't you know
Hello, welcome to the club. I'm your host Mars, and this is the Upper 90 Club, a roundtable podcast where friends discuss the Columbus Crew.
Yep.
Tracy is out tonight for an undisclosed reason. We know why.
We don't know.
But we're just not going to share. It's top secret.
Do we? Did he text us?
No, I'm just joking. We don't actually know.
Okay, we actually have no idea.
Hey, reality is
It
looks better on
Trey
YouTube
pants.
when there's only four of us.
Yeah, that's also true.
All right. Thanks for taking one for the team, Tracy. Where was I? Yes. So on tonight's episode, we review the 1-0 loss to Charlotte. We get an update from President Bird on the Cappies. We hear from Jay at the Inter Miami podcast. And
Cleverly named.
who was on that interview, Ben? You and...
Just Trey and I.
Okay. All right. We did that last night. And we go into our prediction vortex where we waste 20 minutes of everyone's time. Okay. So
100%.
You know where to find us. You know where to email us. And if you don't, just wait till the end. There'll be a special clip as well.
You found us. You're here.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah.
That's right. So just sit back and,
And you
enjoy.
can email us. I wanted to say this. You can email us questions or comments, but you can actually do like a voice memo and we'll put it in the pod so it's like you're with us.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So if you like, instead of just emailing us like some random stuff, and some of you guys might even have just our phone numbers, just
Tracy,
voice memo us.
Tracy,
and we'll put
voice
it on
memo
there.
us.
Yeah.
Tracy could do
at
it.
the end,
I could do it.
Unless you have some kind of silly voice, we can't do it, or some
Martin Shoes.
stupid accent
What
of
more?
some sort. We don't like
All right.
that.
Hey, mate.
All right.
Hello, mate.
Right, that's right. Oh yeah, more. Welcome back. Welcome back. Have you gotten any
thank
sleep in the last 7 days?
Not really, because I try to recover and recapture lost time over the weekend, so that kind of evened things out.
Yeah, and you guys were all together for the game to view it, but also weren't you all doing like a whiskey tasting? Tell me about
Yeah,
that.
with a smooth Rob Thomas.
Oh yeah.
I was confused.
Was it a hot one?
Yeah, I was confused because there's like 4 small glasses of liquor in front of me, so I just shot them
It
down.
wasn't a
quick.
bourbon challenge.
And then there was supposed to be this whole smelling, and I don't know.
Yeah, college Mort. Yeah, college Mort kicked in. He's like, "What do I? I'm just gonna go." And I was like, "Oh no."
What's that guy's name? Cody Chestnut? Is that the hot dog guy? That's
Is
what
it
I'm
Cody?
imagining.
I don't know.
It's
Corey?
Chestnut, not Cody.
Corey Chestnut.
It's something Chestnut.
Cut it all out. Cut all this out. So, okay. So, did you learn something from the whiskey tasting? There was not much learned from the game. I think we'll
What I
discuss
learned
later,
was I know nothing about bourbon.
It's insane. We did so
Yeah.
When
bad.
it's a blind tasting,
Yeah.
you're an idiot.
If it was
Yeah.
possible to like guess worse than how we've been guessing soccer games, like literally we
Yeah.
did it, and there was 2 Old Forester and 2 Maker's Mark, and
Before we knew what they were, I straight
Before
out
we knew what they were.
shouted, "There's no way any of these are Maker's Mark. It's not sweet enough."
yeah, and I was like, those are
2 of
definitely
them
not
are.
Old Forester at all. And he was like, well, you're completely wrong. And we were like, I have no idea. And it was like, it was insane how much we
Awesome.
didn't know.
So so I saw like some pictures. There's like all kinds of different like ingredients, right? You're kind of like heightening your awareness of different flavors, or I wasn't there. Use some
We're doing all the
terminology on me.
smells, smelling like, what does corn smell like? What is,
Banana.
The band.
cherry and banana
Nut.
and all that. It's kind of,
Yes.
you should kind of know it already, though. It's kind of like, you don't know a banana. Have you have a
Yeah.
whole banana in your kitchen? You know
Yeah,
what
but
it
some of
smells
this
like.
stuff, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I tried to do the same thing with red wine, and it was like I'm like, I think I'm getting worse at tasting wine. Like it's kind of just tastes like red wine. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. And as the game progressed, we
Okay.
kept trying other.
Oh, you're
Well,
doing
we did
it
it
during
before.
The game. This
No,
was
no,
Then we had
also,
Yeah, this
we just kept trying because yeah.
definitely into second half. We tried a lot of bourbon.
It's like, have
Yeah.
you tried this
Yeah.
bottle? And I was like, I don't know, but you're pretty. You're
Yeah,
pretty
that was
fancy.
really awkward. Thank you.
Okay. Well, so yeah, so
Yeah.
well, so let's get into the game. Let's start with the lineups. Haas, were there changes? What is there to note before we get into the actual game?
So the same lineup, except Zawadzki started in the middle over Nagby.
Yeah.
Otherwise, same lineup as the past, 3-4 games now?
So yeah, can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Was it a reward for the 98th minute heroics, or was it something?
Well, he was
Something else.
quoted after the game saying, when they posed the question, like, hey, why didn't Nagby start? Nancy, the only thing he said was, oh, he knows why.
Why?
I
he say it like
have no
that?
idea.
Yes,
did he
he
really?
did.
I actually didn't see it.
No,
Like,
I listen. He pretty much said we talk. He knows why, and because we
Was it
all-
like he knows why, or was it like he knows why?
I said it like
no,
that.
no. It seems like no. He said it in a way that seems like we talked about it. He's okay. I'm okay. We're all good. But it's he's aware why he didn't start. We thought it was the turf.
I
We thought
I
it was
still
the
think it's the turf.
horrible
Oh,
plastic, nasty.
It could
thing.
ruin
Yeah.
your knees. Welcome
yeah.
to, foreshadowing. Yeah.
Those sands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So do you guys want to talk about gameplay? I mean, you mentioned the turf. That was
Yeah,
hard,
I think it
hard
was
to
interesting.
look at, hard to watch.
Well, it's so hard to look at, starting with like the jerseys. Let's talk about that. It was like Earth Day. They were
Yeah, I'm wearing mine.
Yeah.
Is this where you tear it down? I
Yes.
put mine on.
Yeah, that,
All right, go for it.
I'm not going to get into the colors of your jersey because I don't like them. But
an
here's
old
the
one.
thing: is it could it be more plastic? We're playing with plastic recycled jerseys, and every day should be Earth Day. So, but we're playing on a plastic field and plastic jerseys and
yeah,
off colors,
good-
and
yeah,
it
good
couldn't be
point.
more plastic than that.
Well, they're keeping that much plastic out of the ocean, right? So it's like, they put it in the jerseys, they put it on the field.
Yeah, sure. But I have a
maybe
question.
that
So
was
when you
the-
got your plastic jersey in the mail, was it covered in plastic? Like, was it wrapped in plastic?
I don't remember.
Upper 90 Club.
And I didn't get it. I didn't get any kind of certificate on like how
Came
many
in one of
pounds of
these.
CO2 were offset by the.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice try, MLS.
Okay, so I feel like we're kind of circling the elephant in the room, which was the first half. Frankly, you could have made the first half 75 minutes long. I didn't think that there was much to talk about, but that's what we're here to do. So, what do you guys think about the team? Did anybody stand out? What was worth watching?
Now, here's the thing. It's an away game, and all considered for an away game, we had two really good chances in the first half, and I'm not sure if we're going to go back and summarizing that.
Sure,
And we
go
missed our chances, and it was 2 times Ramirez.
Yep.
One is a header that has to go in. The other thing is another one of the ones he does where he skyrockets it, right?
Yeah.
And they have one. And they hit a bouncing ball and they finish it. And that's the big difference in that first half.
So let's just talk about those 2 chances. I think that's a good place to start. The header, I mean, do you fault him? Should he have put it closer to the far post there, send it
was
back across, or
It was a ball in from the left from Zelarayan. He finds Ramirez literally in the 6-yard box. And the keeper is moving across the goal to the keeper's left.
the other way? Yeah.
And Ramirez tries to beat him to his right, but he gets his arms out. He's not too committed going to the left. I mean, it's a good save.
Yeah,
It's a-
I thought it was a better save than it was.
I'd
a
agree
bad
with that.
shot.
It's a good save, but it's within his reach, and he has so much time to get this right. He kind of has his whole body behind, and kind of goes for it, and he could aim higher, further to the left and all that. It's not horrendous.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it was like a blooper kind of miss, but he should do better on that one.
I give him some grace on the other one too. So this other one, you know, Oz, if you want to talk more about the details, that's fine. But it came in and it took that bounce like
the entire game
6 yards ahead of him, and so then it popped up, and so when he's trying to play it toward the goal, I don't think he could get.
I'm pretty sure that was
right?
a ball in from Matan, also from the left hand side, and it was a beautifully placed ball,
far post.
And he was full stretch. He tried to get it. And
hit the ground once and just got away from him.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily saying that was bad, but my point is when they got a bouncing ball on their end, it's a rocket. So it's one of those things, kind of like they had one good one there and we had two, and they managed to hit theirs and we didn't.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. But when I think there's an unfair advantage, and I am at that point where turf, unless you up above some kind of degree north, then you should not be playing on turf like that. I understand Portland, I understand Canada and all those things, but you are in
North Carolina.
Where are you? North Carolina?
Yeah.
You should play on grass. But it's the same for both teams.
Yeah, but that team plays on it like every other week or every week and practices
the same
on it.
NYCFC baseball field situation.
Yeah.
It's just garbage.
Yeah.
We can move on, but I think as a group, and I think everybody that follows the crew or MLS in general is on the same page, is like we should probably have some standards where it's like, you know, you either play on a hybrid or grass and that's it. If you can't provide that playing surface, then you don't get to be part of the league. Like, it still blows my mind that amount of money that New York City has and they're still playing in a baseball stadium. Like, unacceptable. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah, it's real grass though.
Sure, but it's also like
some of it
child's
brought in
side field. Yeah.
I wanted to point out in the first half, 3rd minute, Joswiak, however the hell you say his name, fouls Zawadzki in the 3rd minute.
Yeah.
6th minute, he fouls Sands up in the air. 7th minute, he fouls Sands and takes him out of the game along with the turf. 3 fouls in the first 7 minutes of the game, no card.
Oh yeah, that guy was he was mad at
it was his birthday
or something. There was definitely something going on.
They were like, it's his birthday, and I was like, that guy, what? Like,
I don't know if he had another foul in the game, but they were all right there, and I thought deserved a little more than a talking to with the 3rd one, but...
No, he did have another one later in the game because he I remember seeing it when they were going the other way in the second half. He laid somebody out. That was on the... I'm sorry that I have a lack of detail on this. I just remember like being really annoyed that he laid somebody out when we were going left. And then they came back and we did the same thing to them and knocked it. Remember, we like knocked them out of bounds, kind of like it was kind of a rough tackle by the crew.
Yeah, but then it was,
and that one also didn't get called. And then they were complaining about it. It was like, what is going, like, I mean, clearly the ref's not going to call this stuff. So, don't complain about it when it turns back around. But look, you mentioned the Sands injury.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
I was just looking it up. We don't know what the extent of the injury is. I know that Nancy came out and said he doesn't know what it is, but it's not good.
As of Monday night.
Yeah, and we actually just acquired right before we started this pod a New York City left back, left winger. And we'll get into him in a little bit, but it seems like because of that, I believe Sands is probably out. He grabbed the outside back of his knee when he fell, and it probably like every ACL, MCL injury on turf, he probably got stuck. When he got hit, his leg got stuck and just tweaked and popped it. It happens all the time. This is why you should know. I mean, like I said, Ibrahimovic doesn't play on turf. Guys don't play on turf because of this. Like the older guys, it's just completely not fair. But I will say that Jwozniak guy or whatever, that trash player, he did not even try to play the ball. Like, I watched it again, and he just he doesn't get there first. Like, Sands gets there first and kind of slows up, and he just goes through him. And it's like, that was like the 4th time, like you said, in 5 minutes. And if you watch it again, the ref comes up to him and like holds up his fingers like 2, 3, 4. And I'm like, are you really warning him after this? And like, especially after you see the extent of the injury, you need to card him. That is actually a normal thing that refs do, especially overseas. Like, they'll call something, and if the player is actually hurt, they're like, okay, that was actually pretty severe and impacted the other team. Here's a card. I remember watching, Son for Tottenham play, and he got that guy's ankle where it was all nasty, but he didn't even get a card for that, and he got red carded after the fact because of the severity of the injury. So it's the ref. It was a bad non-call.
So I said this earlier. We kind of just moved on, and I was just kind of joking, but I do want to dive into it a little bit. I said something like it wasn't really worth watching. I felt like maybe at the end of the first half, at some point I checked the possession and it was 50-50, but I don't know that any one team kept possession of the ball for more than like 4 or 5 seconds. Like, can we talk about just the gameplay and like what was going on? Was this a complete breakdown of our ability to hold possession, or was Charlotte really putting up enough of defense to dispossess on such a regular basis? Did I imagine that? I mean, it just felt like neither team possessed the ball for the first 60 minutes.
No, it's also interesting. I don't know if you have any hosts, but the ball was like running out of play. When you play balls into space in front of people, it just doesn't slow down, and he kind of runs out of bounds. We know this from playing on turf ourselves, and I think that was a pretty big factor for us.
So this was another turf issue.
To a degree, I think, and also
absolutely,
yeah, and also a little bit of a change in our personnel too. When you take in Nagby, that is one of the most bold, secure players in the league, and take him out of the squad. Of course, that's going to affect
that
our
and Yeboah coming on.
Sure.
Having to come on.
Oh yeah,
he is not a defensive player.
Yeah,
but in regards to possession, I would argue that leading up to the Charlotte goal in the 37th minute, they possessed it for a good couple minutes. They had a couple chances. They were blocked or saved by Schulte. They got the ball back, took it back to midfield, and brought it forward from midfield, crossed it over to the right to, I can't think of who it was, but he was wide open on the right.
I think it was that Wozniak guy, right? Or
it probably was, because that's his position.
Yeah, Wozniak,
yes,
I think it was.
Jozwiak.
Yeah, that was him. Yeah, he had the assist.
That is where Yeboah is so far out of position. He's not getting back quick enough like Sands would. Gives that guy so much time to cross the ball into the box to a wide open Swidarski, who first times it upper right-hand corner, and Schulte had no chance.
Yeah, and it's on the bounce.
Granted, the ball was coming at him compared to the one played forward to us, to Ramirez, where it's going away from him. So
from him,
did it hit off his
skip
foot
affects
or
him a little less.
His shin? It looked like it hit off his shin. It doesn't matter because that ball, like, Schulte had no chance. There was,
no chance to save it. Yeah.
So I broke that down. That's the one thing I did.
Welcome to the club.
So I actually broke that down, and it looks like, let's see, at the time of the strike coming from the defense to the guy that eventually assisted it, the last defender on that line keeping that guy onside was Yao. Like, all three of the defense was up. Like, right before that, when we cleared, like what Haas was saying, the defense and everybody pushed way up the field. I'm talking way up the field, like past like a third of the way. And then that guy gets it. And they were doing a lot of route one, just kicking it to their striker, like kicking it up, because that's what they did last week to us. That caused us so many problems, was the route one balls down the side. So he just did it again. The guy was wide open. And I tracked Yao from that. And I actually tracked Viacia, the two guys on that side, and they both just jog back. Don't close him down, which doesn't make any sense. Because he ends up playing that ball, but he didn't have to play that ball. He could have just kept dribbling it in. And they both just keep jogging back. No one picks that guy up. And at the time of the goal, both the guy that assisted and the guy that scored, Swiderski, no one was guarding either one of them. But we had two guys sitting there, and it was just...
Our entire defense was running at our own goal, which is what you want to make the other defense do.
Degenek was actually covering their number 9. So he was covering one person, but the other two people on that side, which was Viacia and Yao, were just jogging back, not covering anybody. And the other problem too is because it happened in transition so fast, the guy scored from like right around the top of the box, which should probably have been Viacia stepping to that guy, or it should have been either Zawadzki or Morris. And the person furthest back was Zawadzki. And a lot of that game was kind of Aiden Morris and Zawadzki not being on the same page. Like what is so fundamental for the center of our field is Nagbe and Morris understanding where each other are at all times. And that is what has saved us and also what allows us to play through the middle. And the first 45 minutes especially didn't have that because that relationship is not built. That's like the main thing I saw in the first half.
So let's skip ahead because I think that the beginning of the second half was kind of a continuation of the first half. Would you agree? Was there anything? Really, there were a couple subs. Nagbe came in for Zawadzki, and JRR came in for Ramirez in the 64th minute.
Up until that, I don't think much happened at all.
No, and I think,
but the game changed when they.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is like, and maybe not immediately. Maybe I don't know. I noticed 75. It more around like 70, 75, but that was the okay. We're turning on the heat, right? This is the team, or this is the coach who put 4 goals over the Crew in 2 games last season, right? Like in 90 plus, stoppage time. Like it felt like the temperature kept rising, the pressure kept adding and adding and adding. I mean, you tell me I'm wrong. Did Charlotte have good non-quick transition looks anywhere after the 75th minute?
Counters.
Right? They had a couple looks, but they were all just counters, and it was because we were just pushing so far forward. I mean, you had Schulte at midfield a couple times, and
it was like 8 on 8 in their box.
It was
around their box,
right? And they were doing some bus parking, right? I mean, there was a lot of and
we were very close of breaking it down too. And I'd go back to what I said last week is some of these times we are actually missing Cucho. He can really like work in those small spaces and come in there and make a difference when they get tight spaces. And we were so close. If you look at the stats for shots and all that, it's not all that much, but a lot of it's because we didn't get on the end of things. We had things going across. We have things, chances getting close. We had Matan dribbling in the middle of the center. By the way, the one that I thought was heads above everybody in this game for a lot of the parts of the game, even though his ratings are always poor, is Matan. He creates tons.
When he went 1 on,
that was sick.
12.
I watched it again
on the end line.
And the goalie gets a touch. It's a
disagree. I watched it again, and I still think it's a foul in the box.
He gets his left hand. I don't know, man. As he takes him out.
He gets the ball. Maybe I missed that because his right hand is definitely like on Matan. I think it's good to point out that I think Schulte actually had a pretty good game. His distribution out of the back, he actually created space sometimes for an outlet for our defense, which almost burned us once. But in general, he, for being his age, for being, a Crew 2 player and like how he's come in, he did very, very well.
He cleaned up too a couple of times. He came out and was high on the field and cleaned a couple of transitions.
Sweeper keeper. They kept saying sweeper keeper, and I was like, yeah, actually.
If we're talking about the bad, then I can say Viacia was, after a couple of really strong games, was not where he needed to be. Moreira and the right side, that has been so good with him and Farsi. Farsi had some stuff coming in the second half, but a pretty quiet, not productive game from them.
So things progressed, through after the subs. There's a point that I want to make, but before I talk about that, I do want to talk about the goal that never was. So, Mort, I know you have some thoughts on this.
Yeah, I can't remember how the play come about. There was somebody had the ball on the left, played it into Russell Rowe. He hit it one time through to Morris, and he kicked it in. And we thought we had it. They went back and reviewed it, obviously. And the funny thing about the review of it is, of course, this shot they were showing where the ball is actually at the waist of Morris. So the ball is already at his position. So it's impossible to tell where he was when it was played. However, there have been comments saying that when they look at what's on the screen for the ref, it's actually where the ball was when Russell Rowe hit it. And also when we seen it in replay, he was offside. It wasn't by much. Yes.
Yeah. But he was only offside by like 3 inches. And if
like
you
his
look,
foot.
Yeah.
One of his feet is offside.
His whole foot, pretty much.
That looks like more like, So this is the frustration that, and the thing is, just so we're all clear, the call on the field when he went to look at the VAR was that he was offside.
No, it was a goal.
Right? Because it went from 1 to...
No, I think
pretty sure
the flag came up late, I thought.
Well, the whatever they call the head honcho guy,
center ref.
He called it a goal.
Center ref
called it a goal. I guess the flag came up.
I think it did because when he went to check it, the 1 got taken off of the screen and it was 0. And they were saying like, "Oh, it's offside. Like, is it clear and obvious?" And that's the frustration, is when you say, "Is it clear and obvious?" And it's like, ma'am, if you will wind it like, and I still will say this.
This was the other way
like,
around, I'll be saying 100% offside.
Oh, sure. He was offside.
You guys
were
talking about how much whiskey you were drinking. Like, I mean,
I
thought he was on in the moment.
No,
and
we
I
had
was
a
screaming about it. But after seeing some of the stills, and Andrew Wiebe covered it today in his controversial calls of the week.
Yep, he did.
He had 3 different positions of camera angles.
Right.
He was off.
All right. We believe that they're competent in analyzing whether or not he was on or off, and it sounds like he was off. Buzzkill. So again, I was left asking, why aren't we subbing? And like, just as the pressure building. But so here's what I'm thinking now, and I just want you guys to comment on this. Is, I guess, if you're confident or arrogant, it remains to be seen with Nancy. I think the longer you wait, the more disparity between the heat of your fresh legs and the fatigue of the opponent's tired legs, right? So you're saying, okay, the longer I wait, the less time I have to score, but maybe the opponent is more taxed. Is that the thought process, or is there some other motivation to wait until 90+1 to bring in, I guess a striker for Morris, Arfson, and Madrana came in. I don't know if there's. I don't know about those subs. But I would say the impact subs. The impact subs came in the 64th minute, which I think is a perfect time to get those subs in, and it made a difference. And to be totally fair and honest here, we deserve better than that in this game. And well, so when did Sawatsky come on last week?
80 something.
No, he came on
90.
Yeah, 80 something.
Well, I thought it was like 90 plus.
Yeah,
almost.
No, yeah,
and he scored. This is what had me thinking about this.
Well,
are we trying to just net late with real fresh legs on real tired opponents' legs?
I think there's 3 general thoughts to subs. There's impact subs that you have to make around 60 or 70. That is, you're down and you need to make a change, or you need to make a tactical change. And then I think closer to the 90 is like, okay, cool, everything in the kitchen sink. It doesn't matter if we lose 2-0, but 1-0. It's all the same thing. Like, let's just go. Yeah. And that's what happened last week, where he was able to do that. And then as far as fresh legs and not fresh legs, playing growing up and stuff like that, there is about 5 or 10 minutes of, getting into the game that, if you're a sub and you come on fresh, just because you have fresh legs doesn't mean you're at the speed of the game. You're ready to go. Your touch is good. It takes some time. That's why when we subbed at 64 and you're like, yeah, it didn't look good until like 70, 75. I'm like, yeah, it takes 10 minutes. So I'm sure a coach is going, I can make this sub, but for 10 minutes, I'm risking, these guys coming in and not being up to speed.
Yeah. Okay.
And there is something to be said, and this is just random, and then I'll put a pin in it. But I think Chicharito scored this weekend for LA, and I watched that game. He looked gassed, but they didn't sub him, and they were like, okay, I know what this guy can do. It's kind of like keeping Zell in and keeping Cucho in, even though they were gassed last year. They have that magic, that they have that soccer IQ to do that thing that you need them to do in like 85. So it's a gamble. Is pretty much what I'm saying when it comes to like the legs and the fresh legs thing. I'm just not sold on that. I think that's what Nancy kind of does. He lets it like play out.
Okay. All right. Well, so we lost 1-0, disappointment. We can talk about what's coming next, but for now, I think we should take a break. When we come back, we're going to get the Crew 2 update from President Byrd. They played Charlotte also, right? It's just like was it the next day on Sunday?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll hear about Crew 2. We'll be right back.
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all Crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys, that's boys with a Z, at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
Hey guys, thanks for having me again. Yeah, come with bad weekend, right? So yeah, the Crew 2 lost to the Charlotte Tiaras last Sunday. Closing up was a really bad weekend for Crew fans in general. So we should just start with the ugly. The loss came from Charlotte exploring the key weakness on the Cappies game plan. The Cappies' high defensive line, much like the Crew's, means that the north-south passes to attackers were faster than our defenders, will often mean dangerous chances for the opposition. That's what happened. A very fast Charlotte attacker beat Abdi Mohammed on a breakaway, and he was able to go one-on-one with our goalie. And to make matters worse, shortly after, Abdi would leave the game with an ankle injury, which is a huge blow for us because he has been one of our best defenders, if not our best defender, and he's a clear leader within the team. Later on, the Crew 2 would have a chance to tie the game, but Captain Marco Micheleto shot a PK that went straight into the goalie's hands. So, it just wasn't no weekend. But going injury aside, there was a lot to like about the game. The Cappies did a sharp 180 compared to their last lineup. They didn't have any single first-team player in the stadium that day versus Charlotte's 5, and a lot of the academy products got to debut and play some serious minutes on Sunday. And the Crew still managed to pretty much dominate. They were the best team on the field, especially for the second half. And the young talent shine bright. In goal, 17-year-old Stanislav Lapkis is playing with the confidence of a keeper many years his senior. Jordan Knight's development as a winger keeps going at a fast pace, and he keeps getting more and more dangerous using his agility in the attack. I believe he was the one who was fouled to give us a PK after dribbling through most of the Charlotte's defense. Finally, Moroka, who came in the second half, created many great chances for our attack, and I hope that we get to see him more often as the season proceeds. I think that we'll see a good number of Cappies take the field against Indy 11 on Wednesday. My hope is that guys that have been shining with the Crew 2, like Fuson, Gannon, Jake Morris, and Micheleto, all get some meaningful minutes. They'll likely get to play with other Cappies like Parente, Philip Quinton, Zawadzki, and JRR. So, because of all the chemistry that they have together, my guess is a 2-0 win for the Crew with goals by JRR and Parente. Thanks a lot, guys, and let's go Crew.
All right, we're back. Thanks, Bird, for the update from the Crew 2 versus the Thomas Crown affair, starring Pierce Brosnan. What are they
Crown
called?
Legacy.
Pierce.
What was it called? Crown Royal?
Crown Legacy.
Crown Legacy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we tried that one on Saturday.
Yeah.
Hard to say, honestly.
And they also lost 1-0 in solidarity with the Crew. So we got a US Open Cup game published day today, right here in a couple days. Wednesday.
Yes.
What day is it?
Today.
Sorry.
They are playing today.
Yeah. Please, somebody shake me out of this tailspin. It's in 2 days from this moment, but it could be the same day that you are listening to this. Or it
Already
could have-
happened.
It could have
Could be
been
yesterday.
Yesterday.
How does a podcast work?
You tell us when you're listening to this right now. Tell us.
Use a voice memo and tell us. All right, so it's against the Indy 11.
Yeah.
We'll see how long that lasts. And what do you guys think? How are we going to line up against the Indy 11?
Real quick on Indy 11, they've played 6 games so far this season. They have 1 win, 2 draws, and 3 losses. They have a -4 goal differential.
But they're the USL, right?
Correct.
USL
Yeah, in the USL.
Championship.
They've lost their last 3, though.
3 games.
Wild.
And 2 of them at home. And yeah, things are not looking good. My guess is we will start with them a little bit of a mix. We're probably going to have some Crew 2 in there. I'm thinking.
We already have Crew 2 in our team.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing: it's US Open Cup. It's one of those tournaments until you get into the late rounds. Nobody really cares.
Well, and I have seen the Crew lose. I mean, we
we lost
you
to
should
Detroit.
fact check me on this,
We lost
but
to
don't
Detroit.
we always lose to like the Dayton Dutch Lions or the?
No, we lost to Detroit City or whatever last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We usually drop the ball on this tournament.
It is a
pretty
single elimination
rapidly.
tournament.
Yep.
Yeah. And we are unbeaten in 10 home games. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the odds are in our favor. For
Number
sure.
And even
11.
if we
Number 11.
I mean, I'm assuming
see.
we'll roll out, some of the Crew 2 guys. Like, I'm pretty sure Quentin will play, and maybe Madrona gets to start and whatnot. But I mean, we don't have that much depth unless he pulls straight from Crew 2. Even our like quote unquote B team or C team is still half the team we start with.
I mean,
Yeah.
And the Crew 2 is academy players.
I wouldn't
too,
be
on that
surprised
one.
if Nagby starts since he didn't play the full game.
there's no way.
And then I'm guessing like Arfston, Parente, maybe Hughes and Quentin. I mean, he's gonna have to shift. Do you
Yeah.
think that he even treats it as a priority, or do you think he treats it as I'm just gonna get some guys minutes that haven't had minutes?
Guys minutes.
Yeah.
Especially with the other tournament we had this summer too.
Yeah.
This is coming until you're in the last round. This is kind of like the League Cup in England, where like nobody cares until you're in the quarterfinal,
Yeah.
and nobody cares if you're out.
Maybe a good opportunity to get Room some minutes if he's ready.
That's what I was
Maybe a
gonna
good
ask. I had
opportunity
two
to get
things.
Cucho some minutes if he's ready.
It says Elon Room is injured till late May.
Man, is it a back injury? I would not be surprised.
Knee
if it's a
That's through
injury.
back
Fatmom, right?
Is
Knee?
I don't
Fatma
know the
says
accuracy
knee
of
injury
that.
late May. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Well, the beauty of this for me as a consumer for the Crew is like he loves developing the youth players, and I just have a feeling that he's going to if Parente rolls out and Arfsson rolls out, like they've already rolled out and shown up, like they're already getting first team minutes. So like being like, hey, go out there and show me what you got. They're going to just boss those guys. Like I don't think Indy has a chance. Because I don't think our B team lineup is that bad. I think it's really good.
how many people is going to show up for this game?
At least 22, probably. I don't know, but
With the coaches, it's got to be like 30, 35.
No, I know. I'm just saying. A lot of people like me. It's Wednesday night. It's soccer night. I would love to go, but I have we'll have youth soccer to go to.
Yeah.
So you're watching just other youth soccer and not our youth?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's the higher up in the pipeline.
The information I can find right now is saying that the game will be streamed via the Cruise website. Other games
Yeah.
are being streamed via Bleacher Report and their YouTube. And I think the further it gets into the Cup, maybe it gets better airtime. There's some like NBC Golazo channel that's airing some of them.
But Crew website, it'll be like one, Nokia phone.
I've heard you say
Oh,
this before. Maybe we should.
But I said this
could,
one.
Could we televise it? Could we televise it on
Yeah.
our podcast?
I thought about streaming
One
it.
thing about Indy 11, they're going to show up with some fans there for sure. And the other thing is that it's a team with a little bit of ambition. Did you guys see the whole development for the stadium? They're going to build a 15 to 20,000 seater downtown Indy and all those things. This coming up.
Why?
It's pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
And New York's going to get a stadium, so
No,
okay,
but
sure.
yeah, they're going to get it before New York. We all know this.
Yeah, that's probably
Okay,
true.
so let's take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll do our interview with Jay from the Inter Miami podcast.
Hey Dorothy, where's Diddy? Diddy? Mars. I think he's practicing bicycle kicks alone in the backyard. Oh look, he left his microphone on. I think he was recording a new episode of Stoppage Time. What's that? Oh, it's the Upper 90 Club's evergreen content series featuring stories and interviews surrounding the Columbus Crew. Where can I listen to it? I don't know. Wherever you get postcards? Postcats? Podcasts?
Girls, you got to see what I'm working on outside. What are you doing in here?
I'm making a new podcast.
All right, Jay, welcome to the club, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So you are part of the Inter Miami podcast. Tell me about that. You are one of how many?
So I started this with a buddy of mine in 2019 before we had really signed any players, before we ever played a game or anything like that. There was no real way to get, there's no centralized source for news around Inter Miami. So kind of saw the opportunity. I've been speaking with another buddy of mine about starting a podcast. We were just trying to figure out kind of what the topic would be. This came up. I've followed the sport, fell in love with it in like 2006.
Cool.
Seemed like a good opportunity. So it was just two of us, me and my friend. He, on the third year, he stepped away to start a business. So we brought in one of our original fans, actually, who started doing some work with us the second season, Than Harrington, who was at that time covering the academy and what was called Fort Lauderdale CF, the minor league team behind us.
Yeah.
And then, we did that for the third year. This fourth year, we decided to really go kind of all out attack here on the media side. And we went from 2 people to about a total of 12 now. It's about six hosts, 6 people working behind the scenes, digital media, audio, video, website, tech, all that good stuff. And then we released 3 other shows outside of the flagship Inter Miami podcast. We also have Away Days, which is kind of similar to this format, where they link up with other podcasts for MLS clubs and kind of do a joint episode together. We have IMCF Traveler Chats, which is this individual who travels to basically almost every single game. Has really great sources within the team. And that's every Thursday, more of like a live call-in show. And then we just added what's called Freedom to Scream, which is, play off our mantra, freedom to dream. And Freedom to Scream is really about fans voicing their frustrations, because there's
probably no frustrations. I don't know about that. Wow, I didn't realize you had that many people. That's insane.
We just wanted to give as much content, and shows are released almost every other day, different ones, and give some of the people who have been pretty close with the podcast. We have a Discord with like over 300 people in it that the podcast started, and kind of give them a platform if they were interested to, have some artistic creation and, beneficial for them. They can use our platform, beneficial to the fans and listeners. Now they get more, information about the MLS, the team, call-ins, whatever they want to do.
Yeah, totally. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm like pretty active in the Discord too. We have a Discord, and it's awesome. Like it seems like a much safer place than Twitter and like anywhere else. It's like anywhere else I go, it's just like, what is going on? Everything's on fire. And the Discord's like, let's talk about what we can do to make things better. And I'm like, hey guys, we're all friends here.
Yep.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, that's awesome. So you're like super involved in all things Inter Miami.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys are doing like a whole lot. I want to talk a little bit about specifically the game day. Like, what's your ritual? Like, I know that the Apple TV did like their own ritual. Like, what was that? But also, like, what do you think it is? Like, great game day stuff. Do you guys tailgate? Is there like a march?
Yeah, there's always a tailgate.
You guys are still relatively new.
Yeah, exactly. But North Lot, Green Lot is what it's called. That's where all the supporters tailgate. And then your big games, they'll coordinate with each other and kind of march in together.
Sweet.
As far as like ritual, I don't think we've identified one yet. I think that probably won't come to fruition until 2026 when we, build Miami Freedom Park and Miami proper. That might come. But in terms of consistency, I mean, Miami is basically the portal to the United States for really all of South America, for the Caribbean, even parts of Central America, right? So it's probably the most diverse fan base that I've seen in MLS. There's a lot of tons of music, drums, horns. The band is wild. The band just goes nonstop for 90 minutes. Does not let up for a second. A lot of these songs are, kind of tinkered with, or the melodies taken from a lot of the different South American countries. So there's, some Colombian influence, a lot of Argentinian influence in the songs and everything, Brazilian.
Great.
So it really is this nice melting pot, really. That's the best way to describe it. Choripan, which is like I believe it's Argentinian in nature, but it's like a sausage with chimichurri kind of hot dog setup, but it's much better than a hot dog. That's like every game day. They have this stuff called aguardiente, or they call it Dino, which is like this black licorice liquor that's really popular in South America. I believe it's Colombian.
Oh, crazy!
So they're pouring that in everyone's mouth. It's really make sure you're being fed. Make sure you're drinking. Make sure you're singing and having a good time.
It's that whole family vibe that I always get from like the Mexican, the South American people. Like they just feel like very accepting. That stuff's cool. Okay, yeah, because I didn't know that much about. I guess like sometimes when I think about Miami, I get confused with
pre-court
stuff because it's I don't know why. We don't talk about
pre-court.
We're not gonna talk about
it. Don't do that.
I'll bleep that. I'll bleep that as if that I like cuss. I'll be like, we don't talk about
Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the team a little bit because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just pulling it up now. I don't know that much about the squad.
You guys have a couple of big transfers that just came in, right?
Yeah, they just played the first game. Yesterday. Yeah,
Miller is that?
Yeah, Kamal Miller, Canadian international.
And didn't you have an Ecuador
and
guy
then
come in too?
Dixon Arroyo, who came over from Imalac was the club, and they were going through some financial troubles. So he hadn't been paid in like 3 months, and so he kind of rode out.
How is that?
We got Sergei Kritsov from Shakhtar Donetsk. So he's won the Ukrainian league like 7 times. UCL experience, Europa League experience.
Yeah, that was it. They're always on top of the Ukrainian league.
Yeah, and he wanted to just get his family out of the area for obvious reasons. So kind of lucked out with him, but pretty active offseason.
I love that. So I hate to bring it up. So you've lost 5 in a row? Because
6.
Beginning of the season, 6. Yay! Man, and you picked up Joseph Martinez, which I thought was going to be a solid pickup.
Yeah,
and it seems like, and you can speak to that. Maybe he's poison in the locker room, or like he just doesn't. Explain how that's not working out.
I don't think. I mean, we all know about like the Rose con Pollo incident with Atlanta flipping the table.
Yeah,
he hasn't, at least to my knowledge, and I haven't heard anything about any toxicity in the locker room from him. I still think he's trying to get back in the form he was in, right? Coming off some pretty savage injuries.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's going to take time for him, but we put him in there. Leo Campana is like a 6'4" dude. Looks like he's freaking carved of marble, right? He looks like a Greek god, the Ecuadorian guy, but I mean, beautiful man, honestly.
And he's only 22.
Tall. Yeah, he's young.
And he's left-footed.
But, he can hold his own. He's a target man. He can body people. And we're still trying to play that Campana ball just with Joseph Martinez. And Joseph is much smaller.
He's not a target man.
Statue. He's not. But seeing Leo Campana and Joseph, I was like, this would be one of the most potent attacks in the league. But, they haven't.
Kind of a yin and yang for attackers.
Yep.
They both offer complete.
Everyone's kind of waiting for Joseph to do what Joseph does best, and it just hasn't happened yet. Now Leo's back, so we kind of trying to alter formations around once our captain Gregory got injured. So we haven't really ran two at the top a lot. Joseph can play as a winger, but they're still trying to figure that out. And we all hope they get it figured out sooner than later.
Well, yeah, you're on a slide. It seems like you have pretty good defense. It seems like your defense is pretty locked down. I mean, you have Kamal Miller. I mean, you're only giving up 3 goals in the last 3 games. You're only losing 1-0, which isn't terrible. And you weren't able to beat Cincy. We forgive you.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what makes it painful. Is like these games are winnable games. We just can't really get it done, and we've struggled to really move the ball throughout the midfield. The defense, I think, has only been reinforced with Kamal Miller, and we're really happy about that. Drake Callender is just a stud. He's one of the top keepers in the league. He's got his first call up to the national team. So, I mean, he can make some great saves, but, if the midfield or sometimes there are defensive lapses, sometimes he's not doing him. They're not doing him any favors, rather.
All right. Before you go, score prediction. What do you think's going to happen?
Oh, I mean, confidence level is not really high right now. I want to say we'll win 1-0, but I got to be a realist, and I don't know if just having Dixon or Kamal for one game is enough to really have them gel and mesh with the team. So I think we're still going to experience some hardships here. Defense has been playing well. Drake's been playing well. I think it'll be a hard-fought game, but it just seems like we're on this trend of like 1-0 defeats. So I think we're probably going to lose this. I think there's some quality players in Columbus. I love Zelly. I'm a big closet Zelly fan. Can't really tell my listeners that, but
dude, we like him here.
So
and
fun.
The team likes him. Like it seems like he's genuinely like a nice guy.
Yeah, I kind of get the same vibe. So I'm going to go 1-0 defeat with you guys winning.
All right.
Oh, that's so kind. You're the first person that's been like, no, we'll probably lose or tie. Usually they're like, yeah, I mean, we're probably going to smash you. And it's like, man, are you?
Yeah. See, here's the thing. Anytime I predict us winning, typically not happening. When I give a prediction and it says losing, that's when we play well. That's when we get
that way. You
win.
could be
So
surprised.
now,
You're like, I can't believe it.
These are the mental games right here. Okay.
Well, again, Jay, thank you so much. You want to plug your socials again one more time and maybe just tell us what to Google, because I didn't realize you had all the media forever underneath you guys.
Yeah. So Inter Miami Podcast. We'll stick with the flagship plugs, I guess. It's on Instagram at Inter Miami Podcast. Twitter is at Inter MIA Podcast, just for character limit reasons.
Yeah.
And, check us out. Come interact with us. We just try and stay very, very active on social media, interacting with all the fans, opposing team, podcast fans, all that stuff. So it's all good vibes. We have fun. We laugh at each other, laugh at ourselves, laugh at other people. It's all in love. So
cool. Thanks, Jay.
Check us out.
Thanks so much, Jay. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Cheers.
Welcome back. Miami Messies is this weekend. We are going to do our predictions. Low hopes, guys. Last week was bad. But before we do that, Ben, you mentioned this earlier. We got a late signing here. Left wing defender, wing back defender. Tell us more.
Yeah, it seems like we picked him up. I think today the last day to sign for this window.
Yep. Yes,
so,
Monday was.
Like I said, it's kind of a panic signing, which makes me think that Sands is out, and we definitely don't have a left wing back on the team at all. Period. So the good news is we're able to find this guy,
Malte Amundsen.
Amundsen.
I don't know how to say it. So.
So he's actually on. It seems like he's on loan because it's not considered, from what I understand, quoting Bailey Johnson, she said that it's not an international roster spot, which is awesome because I don't think we had that with what we have. But actually, it looks like New York City acquired him, but from what I read, it was acquired from a Dutch league. But he's 5'10", he's 25 years old, he's worth $2.8 million on FOTMob, and he's a left-footed left back / left midfielder, which is, it seems like a perfect slot right into what we currently have. It seemed like he was in favor with the original coach when he came in to New York City FC, but he has not played at all in the past. I don't even know. I'm looking back through the games this year.
No minutes this year.
Yeah, he has like no minutes. So, but he seems to be rated pretty high. And like I said, youngish guy, left-footed, fullback first / left midfield. Like
likes to go forward, likes to provide service into the box.
Yeah.
So what's the timeline on something like that? Like, will we see him play against Miami? Is it a few weeks? What do you think?
No, he's probably in town tomorrow to do physical, I'm thinking. This happened pretty quickly.
We're going to see him in the Indy 11?
There's no way, but it actually may not be a bad run-in.
Yeah.
You might see him subbed in, and you might see him subbed in against Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Depending kind of what that looks like. And I did kind of want to touch on this. When he went down, I actually wanted to see Quentin come in as a back and have Moreira go to the wing.
I wasn't thinking about that.
But so I don't think that was something that I would have liked to have seen. He didn't for whatever reason, but I think that is up Nancy's sleeve. If he wanted to move someone that he trusts more in a defensive role, that may be the quote unquote wrinkle that he does, so we aren't so exposed like we were last game.
I do like this guy's name. His Amundsen. I was hoping he was Norwegian, but it's my absolute favorite explorer, Roald Amundsen, that went the first person to the Antarctic.
Knowledge,
and he's a hero of mine. So let's hope this is going to be a hero of mine as well.
I'm sorry, but is the new crew soccer player Norwegian?
No, he's Danish. He just have a Amundsen name.
Okay, all right.
An ominous name. Yeah, let's go through and talk about our favorite explorers. I'm thinking Magellan.
You would.
I like Steve Zissou.
You would.
Dora.
You would. Magellan.
Steven Zissou.
I like Dora, Haas. That was good. All right.
Dora. The only person without kids.
I've never seen
kid
any
reference.
No, you don't.
You're
a
liar.
You don't understand. I am a big. This is an
baby.
important guy to me. So right.
Okay, I like it.
All right,
I like it.
Don't crack. Just
funny that no one picked Columbus. Okay, so Mort, could we explore all of the results from last week's predictions?
Yeah, let's get over with quickly because we were like we normally is. We coming on. We're really high on.
Yeah. Okay, you
go
that. Through the results, and I have something to
and
say.
in case you missed the first, 60 minutes of this podcast, we lost 1-0 against Charlotte FC. Haas thought we would win 3-0. Trey thought we would win 2-0. So did Ben.
Yep.
I thought we would win 3-2. And Morris, you're probably the closest of everybody, closest with a 2-1 win, but we were all wrong, which means the standings remain the same.
Or do no points.
With Ben and Morris in the lead and me trailing behind.
I still think we're going to win 2-0. I know the game already happened, but it still feels right.
Well, so I was going to say something like, maybe we were playing under the assumption that we were going to get to like come back and finish the game in 4 months, or like, there was like some kind of, Charlotte legacy,
contingency rule.
Yeah. Like, well, every season we play the first 16 minutes and then 4 months later we wait until our hopes are just above the threshold to make it to the playoffs, and then we blow it against Charlotte for the last 75
I think
minutes.
Zelly actually did take a super long distance shot, didn't he, at that game?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I digress.
I don't know.
Okay,
that must have been the only thing he did in that case.
So this is what I want to talk about. Last week, when we were talking about the scores, I was called out about something I had said 2 weeks ago, where I said I would buy myself a pre-court Austin jersey if there was ever a 1-0 result. Okay, and you guys,
Which just happened.
well, hold on. So you all said,
Just happened.
oh, 1-0. You know that I can't believe you're going to say that. And so I said on last week's episode, if you listen to that episode, you'll hear me say, I will go back and listen to last week, which would have been 2 weeks ago. Okay. And I did that. I went back and listened to 2 weeks ago, and this is what transpired. I have it written out here, and I texted it to all of you, and no one responded. So I'm going to make you all respond now. Okay. I went back and listened to my 1-0 comment from last week. I kind of understand why there was a misunderstanding from you, but this is what happened. When it got to Trey says 1-0 Crew. And then there was like some jokes back and forth. And I said, 1-0? Really? I said, I'll buy an AFC Austin FC jersey if we ever see a 1-0 result this season. When I was responding to him saying 1-0 Crew. And I'll tell you why I said this.
Agree to disagree.
In my mind, 1-0 is different than 0-1, which was the result that we saw this week. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the way that we play, we're either going to put in more than one goal or we're going to give up one. And that was the statement I was trying to make. I'm not going to buy myself a jersey after this, but I will double down and say that I stand by my statement. The Crew will not win a game 1-0 this season. And if they do, you'll see me in green. Okay? All right.
I don't want that. I don't want that for you.
I only want it to shame you for the comment.
Hey, Mars, I give you the work you put in on proving that you're right, but everything after that was just insane.
Got it.
So you listened to last week's episode as well.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, all right. Okay, so now that we have gotten closer to our 20 minutes of wasted time on this quota for this part of the show, let's get into our predictions for the Miami Messi's, what are they called? Inter Miami.
Hey, Mars, do you want to know their last 3 results? What they are?
Isn't their last? Didn't they lose the last 5?
6.
Yeah.
No, but the last 3 is 1-0 losses.
I know. Ask me my prediction. Yeah, I'm so ready.
I hope you all predict 1-0.
But yeah, to round that out a little further, Miami won their first 2 games of the year 2-0, and then they've lost every game since then.
Okay,
6
and
in
the
a row.
last 3 have been 0-1.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Man.
Okay.
Man,
Well,
man,
so
man.
we start with Ben. So lay it out.
1-0 Crew.
Okay. Mort.
Come on. 1-0. Let's do it.
No.
I think, all right. Before you do it, while you're thinking about this, I think if we win 1-0, you have to wear the Austin jersey, but you have to wear it as a diaper.
Okay. That's fine.
For the rest of the pods of this season.
That's fine.
That is so
I'll do whatever.
random and so weird.
I'll do
It's so
whatever.
wrong.
He's seated.
It's so
You
bright.
won't even
Not-
be able to
yeah.
see it.
Oh, see, here's the thing.
Yeah,
is
but there's 2 holes for
we-
the legs, and
we-
then there's a free little area to go
We
pee-pee.
cut so much out of the last week's episode. There might be a better understanding of Ben's line of thinking if we
Brilliant.
kept everything in, but we just can't. We would have gotten canceled.
All right, Mort,
They
let's
would
hear
have
it.
come after us, but Ben or Mort, what's your name?
2-1. 2-1. The Columbus Crew.
2-1. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Did we get a prediction from Trey?
We did.
We did. He sent a text.
Okay, and
He said 3-0 Crew.
3-0. Okay. Haas?
2-0 Crew.
Okay.
They have both Federico and Gonzalo and their father Jorge Higuain still, don't they? Okay. All right. I don't know who said it. I think it was Haas. I'm with you. 2-0.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Hey, and while we're here, I think we should just throw out a Indy 11 prediction. I think we should just throw that bad boy out. I want to count this, so we'll tweet out this prediction too, and this will count towards the 3. Why?
I refuse.
I think the score is going to be crazy painful.
No, I think it's going to be 2-2.
Can they tie?
Penalties.
They're going to be gays.
You think it's going to be 2-2 penalties?
It's going to be 8-7 penalties.
I don't like that.
Yeah. It's going to be 11-11.
I think it's going to be 4-0 Crew.
Why?
I'll stick with 2-0.
I'm not writing this down.
Yeah, don't.
Okay, so I've 4-0. You're 8-7 penalties. Haas is 2-0 Crew, and then Mars is
6-5. 6-5.
No, and
6-5.
Trey just got on my ear here right now, and he said 3-2. Indy 11.
All right, Indy 11's going to win 3-2.
He has no faith, that guy.
All right, good to wrap it up.
All right. Yeah, I think we should.
Please.
So the game against Miami is at home.
I think it's also Military Appreciation Night.
Okay. All right. And so we typically go through how to watch. There's the Black Flag Social tailgate on the north side. There's the Players Roll In on the west side. Games at Shocker. Hold on, are you ready? It's at 7:30. So if you have kids, just watch it from home. And
there's a tailgate at the Triangle for the game on Wednesday with pizza with Black Flag Social Club at like 4:30 for the Wednesday game against Indy 11.
What can you remind me what the Triangle is?
It's a parking lot between the railroad tracks on Nationwide Boulevard on the way to the
shape
stadium.
that has 3 sides.
Well, then I guess we got a double game week. Are we gonna do another episode this week after the Indy 11 game to recap that, or?
Yeah, maybe just the scores.
All right. So here's what's going to happen. Ben's going to sign on, and he's going to do a full 75-minute recap
by
himself for the Indy 11 game, and then we will be back at our regular scheduled time next week. Hopefully, Trey will be in attendance, and we'll just have to wait and see who will call in sick at the last minute. It could be me, could be Haas, could be anybody.
Could be you. Go Crew.
Go Crew. Thanks everyone for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew! Are you serious?
No.
I thought you told us to go short on this. I've been trying to blaze through it as fast as we can.
I know, but I'm pumped up about it.
No.
I'm all riled up.
No, dude.